Welcome, everyone. As we design systems for global scale, the traditional methods of network monitoring, like standard packet capture, are hitting a wall. High-performance infrastructures demand observability without the massive overhead of copying data from kernel space to user space. Today, we are diving deep into eBPF and tracepoints. We are moving past simple sidecars and exploring how to hook directly into the Linux kernel's execution path. This approach allows us to achieve near-zero copy efficiency and gain visibility into encrypted flows and protocol-specific metadata that was previously invisible. By the end of the session, you will understand how to build a security monitoring plane that scales horizontally without sacrificing throughput. To understand how we monitor securely, we must understand the eBPF virtual machine. Think of it as a sandboxed environment within the kernel. When we write a monitoring probe, it is compiled into bytecode. Before it ever runs, the eBPF verifier checks for safety. It ensures there are no infinite loops and that the program cannot crash the kernel. Once verified, the just-in-time, or JIT compiler, translates that bytecode into native machine instructions. This gives us the performance of a kernel module with the safety of a user space application. We are looking at a system that can handle millions of events per second with minimal CPU jitter. When monitoring, we have a choice between K-probes and tracepoints. For security architects, tracepoints are the gold standard. Unlike K-probes, which are dynamic and can break when the kernel version changes, tracepoints are static hooks placed by kernel developers. They offer a stable API. This means your security probes written for kernel 5.4 will likely work on kernel 6.2 without modification. We use them to monitor system calls, network events, and process lifecycles. By attaching our eBPF programs to tracepoints like netdev-xmit, we get reliable, high-fidelity data about every packet leaving the system, without the instability of dynamic instrumentation.
Where you hook into the network stack determines your capability. For ultra-fast DDoS mitigation, we use XDP, or Express Data Path. XDP runs at the lowest possible level, the network driver, before the kernel even creates a socket buffer. This allows us to drop malicious packets at 10 gigabit per second plus speeds on a single core. If we need more context, like egress filtering or packet mangling, we use the traffic control, or TC hook. TC operates slightly higher in the stack, but provides full access to the socket buffer structure. Combining XDP for ingress and TC for egress gives us a complete, high-performance security perimeter.
Implementing this requires a specific toolchain. Most eBPF programs are written in a restricted subset of C. We use Clang and LLVM to compile this C code into the eBPF object file. Once we have the bytecode, we need a loader. Whether you prefer Go with Cilium's library, Rust with Aya, or Python with BCC, the process is the same. The loader calls the BPF system call to push the code into the kernel. This separation of concerns allows us to write the heavy lifting logic in C for the kernel, while managing the control plane and data export in a high-level language in user space.
The challenge with high-speed monitoring is getting data out of the kernel. We use BPF maps for this. Maps are efficient key-value stores shared between kernel and user space. For event-driven data, like a log of every denied connection, we use ring buffers. Unlike the older perf buffers, the modern BPF ring buffer is multi-producer, single consumer, and handles memory more efficiently. It prevents data loss during high-traffic bursts. This architecture allows us to aggregate metrics, like byte counts per IP, inside the kernel, and only export the summary, drastically reducing the I/O load on our monitoring agents.
How does this look in practice? Consider lateral movement detection. In a microservices environment, we can use eBPF to monitor every connect system call. We can cross-reference the PID, the container ID, and the destination IP against an allow list in a BPF map. If a service tries to reach a database it shouldn't access, the eBPF program can instantly trigger an alert or even kill the connection at the source. This provides a zero-trust enforcement layer that operates at the kernel level, making it nearly impossible for an attacker to bypass by simply compromising a user space process or container.
Scaling this to a global infrastructure requires a distributed approach. We don't want a single point of failure.
By deploying eBPF probes as part of a daemon set in Kubernetes, we ensure every node has its own local monitoring agent. These agents pre-process data locally using BPF maps and only ship telemetry to a centralized store like Prometheus or ClickHouse. This edge processing model minimizes backhaul traffic. For high availability, we use BPF's ability to maintain state across reloads. This ensures that even if our monitoring agent restarts, the kernel-level filtering and counting continue without interruption.
Not all smooth sailing. The eBPF verifier is notoriously strict. You might write 100 lines of C that look perfect, but if the verifier can't prove every memory access is safe, it will reject the program. We also face kernel compatibility issues. Until recently, you had to compile your eBPF programs on the target machine to match its kernel headers. However, with BTF, or BPF type format, and CoRay, which stands for Compile Once, Run Everywhere, we can now build portable binaries. This is a game changer for infrastructure engineers, allowing us to distribute a single security agent across a heterogeneous fleet of servers.
As we wrap up, remember that eBPF is transforming the role of the infrastructure engineer. We are moving from managing appliances to writing kernel-integrated code. The visibility provided by tracepoints and the performance of XDP and TC are becoming the foundation of modern cloud-native security. I encourage you to explore projects like Cilium, Falco, and Tetragon to see these patterns in action. The barrier to entry is lowering, but the power it grants you over your network stack is unprecedented. Start small with basic observability and scale your way up to real-time autonomous security enforcement. Thank you for your time.